Welcome to the ATB Sports Show. I'm your host, Adams. But before we begin talking about today's segment, the Giannis trade rumors, do me a favor, please. Like, comment, and subscribe. Now, without further ado, let's go. Today is the very first episode of the ATB Sports Show. I have been behind the mic before. I have been on YouTube before. I'm going to send this to a couple of my buddies for sure. And I have been able to be gifted to be on the radio. And that has been a very high honor. And, I just have a dream. I just have a dream to, I'm a motivated factor. I will do whatever it takes to accomplish my dreams. And I want to start my own podcast. And this is one of the best names I think I can come up with. I wanted to do something that wasn't like all that, like kind of like a weird name, but I like this, the ATB Sports Show. So today is our very first segment. I'm a huge NBA trade fan. I love to see what the offseason, I think a lot of people don't talk about it. Obviously it's not fun until it happens, but excuse me one second. But Giannis is going to get traded, I think. And we're going to talk about it right here on the ATB Sports Show. We're going to talk about it, everything. We're going to talk about the three, we got the ticker at the bottom. We're going to talk about it all. So let's go ahead and get into it. And without further ado, let's get into it. So let's go ahead and start with the initial thing. And that is why Giannis is going to get traded. Why will he get traded? Well, the very first thing I think you have to say on why he will get traded, the first reason he'll get traded, I think, is because the team is just not competitive anymore. And you look at the team, and its second best player is Ryan Rollins, and they won 30-something games this year. They were not competitive at all. And I think, with Giannis having a 1 year on his deal, he might be hesitant to sign a long-term extension because Giannis has said so many times he's super loyal. I want to win, but I want to win championship in Milwaukee. But if we can't do it, then I'll have to go somewhere else. And that's just what has to happen, I think. And I just don't believe that Giannis is going to be able to win a championship in Miami or in Milwaukee. We'll talk about Miami in a second. I was trying to get that up. So we'll have to see, what happens with this whole thing. But I think Giannis probably has played his last game for the Bucks. Although you got to keep the door open. We'll have to see what happens. But we'll have to see what happens with that. So I just don't think it's going to be a competitive roster for him to hold. And that's basically why he's going to get traded, I think. It's just because the roster's not competitive. The 1 year extension, a 1 year deal on his extension. So he'll have to pick his spots. But anyway, that's just a quick summary. If I was rambling a little bit too much, I might have been. Basically, I just said, the team's not competitive. His second best player is Ryan Rollins. His third best is Kevin Porter Jr. No, is it Miles Turner? It's Miles Turner, isn't it? Miles Turner. They won 30 games. They weren't competitive at all. They were blown out so many terrible games this year. That terrible game against the Spurs. They're a great team, but they were getting beat by 40 or 50 points like every week. They were awful. And yeah, maybe if Giannis played a full season, what are they? 40 and 42, 40 and 42, 39 and 43. They're not competitive. Like they're not competitive with them. They're not competitive means like top 4, top 5 in the East, making playoff runs, trying to get a championship. So, Detroit, Boston, New York, Cleveland, that's competitive. In the West, Minnesota, OKC, San Antonio this year, LA Lakers, Houston Rockets, that's competitive. He's not competitive. He's not competitive in Milwaukee. I understand they were the 5 seed last year, but Damian Lillard is not coming back. And Miles Turner is there, and they don't have. The course has just ran. It's ran its course. It's ran its course. That if you know what that means, it's ran its course. Because you players got older. You don't have the picks. You don't have all these assets. You have one of the worst young rosters in the league, and I think the Bucks and Giannis knows it's time. So anyway, we're going to talk about a couple potential teams Giannis could go to, and there's really two teams, and that is that Giannis could be on a member of the Miami Heat. We'll go ahead and start there. Giannis on the Heat is going to be a really good team. I think it's a good team. I think people are talking about. Everyone likes to be negative on the internet. Everyone likes to be negative. So everyone thinks that, oh, Giannis on the Heat is not going to do anything. They will have Wiggins, Adebayo with Giannis as a good good front court, and that would be a good front court. Like that would seriously be a good front court. And they won 43 games this year, just to put it briefly. Now, if you want the longer version, I mean, listen, you have those three players. You have Davion Mitchell, who probably is expected to not be in the trade. You may have Kasper Giacochonis. Maybe. He might be in the trade. You may have Pelle Larsson. Again, maybe. You may have Jaime Jaquez. Again, maybe. For sure, Ware and Hero will be gone. So let's just say the trade was Jovic, Hero, Ware, and Jaquez. Three of those players, it's not even like they're getting worse. They're trading Ware, who was like sitting on the bench for 3/4 of the season. He was sitting on the bench for 3/4 of the season. Tyler Hero sitting out for 40 games. And even when he was playing, the fit with him and Norman Powell was atrocious. It was terrible. It was a terrible fit. It really was not, it was very not impressive. They would get blown out in a lot of these games because they don't have a point guard out there. They're trying stuff with Hero and Powell. And when they tried to put their point guard in, Mitchell, then Powell or Hero was forced to play the 3, and then Wiggins is playing the 4, Bam's playing the 5, and it was just an awful fit. Honestly, Miami could have been a lot worse if they tried to. They kept trying to make this thing work. It wasn't, but they kept trying to make it work, and it just was never going to work. It was never going to work, and I think Miami is going to have to come out of that this season with one of them gone and trade. And the Giannis trade is expected to be their first choice, but if they don't do this, then they'll go on to another thing. So, yeah, I mean, it is. And Hero missed 40 games, and to be honest, Tyler Hero is just really not that good of a basketball player. Like he's just really not. He can't play defense. He really takes bad shots. He really is one of I think he likes NBA IQ. Like, remember that 3 he took in the Hornets game, not driving to the basket, fadeaway threes. And sometimes he's made some game winners before, so give credit to him. But he's gotten lucky. I mean, he's gotten lucky. He's taken bad shots, and he's really not impactful. Like when he's on the court, it's not like those are the losing minutes. And when him and Powell share the court, man, Miami was playing bad basketball. So I think you may trade one. You may even trade both of them. Powell's not as great either. But the point is that they would not be losing a ton with Hero only playing 40 games, really having a bad season this year. Now, I will say this because I just gave Hero a little bit, and I'm all for positivity. Hero was awesome in 2025. He was awesome, and when he didn't play, they lacked scoring, and Hero did carry them to some wins, a lot of them. Bam had a bad season 2 years ago. He had a bad season. This year, Bam had a way better season. Hero had an awful season, but Tyler Hero has been injured a whole lot. He's been injured a lot of time. Like he missed the whole 2023 playoffs, the whole a little bit of 2022. He's missed a lot of the time, and he's been in trade rumors. And I just think also that it's just time for them to go their separate ways. I mean, it's just been time. Tyler Hero's Miami career is injuries, and then getting blamed for not playing defense and not showing up in the playoffs, playoff dropper, not impacting the basketball game at all when, him and Powell are out there. Even when Powell wasn't there, him and Robinson or something, and, just not playing great, and, all this, and, he's the problem. So it's just, I think it's time for them to go their separate ways. But point is, long story, I think Hero and I think losing Hero for Miami really wouldn't do like anything. Then you go to Jovic, that would be even worse. I mean, Jovic didn't do anything last year with Miami. He did nothing. Like he was not good. So, and then you got Jaime Jaquez. Now, that one is a little bit of a hurting for Miami because Jaime was amazing for Miami last year. Should have won 6 Man of the Year. He got my vote. But I think he's a really good player. He's a win now player, but that'd be a good pickup for the Bucks. Jaime Jaquez is a really good player, and I think he has room to grow. He's a really good player. Like he's really really good. So that would be a hurting. That would definitely hurt the most if you're Miami. And I know people are going to ask, and with these, I was like, these are horrible players. Then why are we? Well, the thing is, Jovic is like 22, Ware's 22, Jaime's 24, Hero's 25. So they're still really young. They have room to grow. Jaime has room to grow. Ware has a big ceiling, I think. Jovic can still play, and you get the 13th pick. You get a second lottery pick, and you get 2 future first-round picks. And Boston has been living in the high 20s, and Miami's been living in the teens. So that's about 14, 15 picks higher. So yeah, I mean, I think they have a strong package, and I think they still have a strong team, as we talked about. We'll see what Miami could keep, but that is the argument for Miami. So I think it's a great argument, and but we'll get to the other team we'll talk about, and that is none other than the Boston Celtics. The Boston Celtics are once again they have arrived, and they are trying to let me say a different word. They are trying to steal away Boston, or they're trying to steal away Giannis Antetokounmpo from Miami. Looks like Giannis Antetokounmpo has Miami as his number one destination, but Boston does not seem far behind. Would be open to it. I've seen some comments, and I don't know. I don't really love saying this. The longer it takes, the less chance. You just never know with trades. You don't know how long this takes. You don't. You just don't. So Jaylen Brown. So we don't know if he's included yet. And I'm actually going to make a prediction. I don't think he is. I'm not sure how serious Boston is. I really don't know how serious they are. I think they made an offer. I don't think Brad just threw in his best offer immediately. I don't think he did that. So it's really kind of tough to figure out what Boston is really offering here. So if they were to trade Jaylen Brown, I think a third team, there'd be teams in there. Portland, Atlanta seem to be your 2 teams that we're talking about here to acquire Jaylen Brown in a 3-team deal for Giannis to go to Boston. And I think he would go to Portland because Portland and Boston and Milwaukee have been making deals in the past, and it's really not that long ago. Anthony Simons, Drew Holiday, Robert Williams, and Malcolm Brogdon. And then you had Damian Lillard in the trade, the 3 or 4 team trade with Portland and Phoenix. I think it was 3 teams, right? 3 teams? 3 teams. Yeah, 3 teams. So you've seen the Blazers work with the Bucks. You've seen the Blazers work with the Celtics, but you've also seen the Celtics work with the Hawks last year with trading Kristaps Porzingis to the Boston Celtics for George Niang and whatever it was, just a salary dump to get under the second apron. So you've seen that before. But have we seen the Bucks work with the Hawks? I don't know. But I still think Portland is where Boston wants them. And honestly, maybe even Milwaukee. I don't know if Milwaukee cares as much as Boston. I think Boston wants to see Jaylen Brown in Portland, not in the East, not where they could fare up against them in the first round or the second round or the conference finals. Although that Atlanta team really would move me with Jaylen Brown and Jalen Johnson on that team as a 1-2 punch. So there's your sort of feedback. I don't think Jaylen Brown is going to be in the trade. You don't even have to be an analyst he just had 28.7 points per game, right? He was just second All-NBA team. That's incredible. He was a All-Star starter. He was awesome this year. He was awesome with the Boston Celtics, and I think he's got a great relationship with Brad Stevens. And he's just done really, really good this year in a gap year for the Boston Celtics when they were talking about AJ DeBonsta in October, in September. And all of a sudden, it's, to rainbow face to, let's go for a run. Let's get Jason Tatum back. He's coming back in March. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure where the Celtics are with Jaylen Brown. And you also have to worry about this. You also have to worry about Jaylen Brown requesting a trade if it leaks that they included Jaylen Brown and Giannis goes to Miami or another team or it stays in Milwaukee or whatever it is. You have to worry about that. You also have to worry about that. So, very interesting moves Brad Stevens is going to have to make. He's going to have to take a very cautious approach. There's our 1,370,758th Giannis report by some source that apparently Boston's been frustrated or annoyed by the way the Bucks approached this. We don't know. We see all these reports. Oh, the Bucks are preparing to have the 13th pick in this year's draft. Oh, the Bucks really like Jaime Jaquez in this year's draft. Oh, it's on the deal's done in Boston. The deal is done. Oh, Portland is expected to get Jaylen Brown. Oh, Atlanta has called for Jaylen Brown. They want him. Oh, Miami is ready to send Khalil. Oh, the Bucks really like the package. Oh, wait, the Bucks don't like the package. Giannis wants to go to Miami. He's really pushing for it. He's behind the scenes. He's buying houses in South Beach. Oh, wait, Giannis is wearing green in his house. He's a Celtic. He's been talking to Jaylen Brown or Jason Tatum. He's been talking to Brad Stevens. He really likes Ime Udoka, or not Ime Udoka. He really likes Joe Mazzulla. He's a Celtic. Nobody knows. Nobody knows what's going on. Nobody knows if Giannis is a Celtic. Nobody knows if he's a Buck. Nobody knows if he's a Heat. Nobody knows if he's a, whatever. Nobody knows. I don't think anyone knows. The Bucks don't leak anything. This was reported by Jim O, Bucks beat writer. And yes, I know I just made fun of every single report, but no. But nobody knows because, Jim O is the number one trusted. I think this might be the number one trusted reporter. Well, him and Shams with this Giannis saga. John Horst doesn't leak anything. I don't think Miami leaks anything. Excuse me. Sorry about that. And I don't think Brad Stevens, they don't leak anything. These are three franchises that usually don't leak anything. Sorry again, hold on. Sorry about that once again. So they don't leak anything. I think John Horst had like a bunker, and he's got a tiny front office, and he was working the phone lines, and nobody saw it coming when they traded for Damian Lillard, and it stunned the Bucks players. Stunned them. Nobody saw that coming. Nobody saw it coming when they traded for Drew Holiday, and that was 2020. That just came out of nowhere. Nobody was, nobody saw it coming when they stretched Damian Lillard for Miles Turner. I remember that. I mean, I remember all three of them, but I remember that. That came out of nowhere. I did not see that coming. I swear something always crazy happens on day 2 of NBA free agency. Day 1 is like day 1 feels like all the fish are gone, but day 2, there's always something crazy. But yeah, they wave stretched Damian Lillard to sign Miles Turner because Giannis didn't want to have a gap year. It made sense. Now it doesn't because they're forced to trade Giannis. They probably should have kept Dame at this point. I mean, if you could tell the Bucks that this is the way their season's going to go and they're going to have this and Giannis is going to miss this many games and all that, Damian Lillard is probably still on the Bucks. And I think the Giannis trade rumors are just media stuff, not actually serious. Well, it's pretty serious. Let's talk about some dark horses. I think the Orlando Magic have a really good argument to be a dark horse. Giannis still gets to go to Florida. He's got a good relationship with Sean Sweeney. And, they have a nice package. They don't have to throw in a ton of firsts, but you're going to have to get rid of Paolo or Franz in this situation. And I don't know if Orlando wants to do that. I don't know if Orlando wants to. All right, let's see what we do this year with Sean Sweeney, with Paolo, Franz, Bane, and Suggs and all that. Or maybe they're going to trade Suggs. I don't know. But let's see what they do with Bane. Excuse me. Again. Bane, Paolo, and Franz. Let's see what they do. I think that might be the approach. We'll see. I'm not sure. Or I just keep a lookout for Orlando. Portland was seriously aggressing Giannis. They wanted Giannis really bad, and it just doesn't seem like it's going to happen because Giannis wants to stay in the East. You can call it whatever for Giannis, That's a smart move. That is a smart man. You have Anthony Edwards, Luka Doncic, Shea, Jokic, Wemby. I mean, it's just chaos over there in the Western Conference. It's chaos. It's absolute chaos. So yeah, I mean, you should not go over there in the Eastern Conference or in the Western Conference. You know, like it's a smart move. It's a smart move, and it plus also you're going to Portland, so it's not like you're going to like Minnesota or L.A. You're going to Portland. Like they were they were eighth in the standings. Now they go to seventh seed, but they were the eighth best team already. I know they're going to add Dame and Giannis, but in the West, it's just complete chaos. I mean, what does that get you? The fifth seed, the sixth seed in Portland? They were to get Giannis, but then you got your depth. Like Portland was really good because they had a deep team last year. And they've got good assets, and they have a really nice package. A really nice package. They have a really nice package for Giannis Antetokounmpo. They get the Bucks. They have the Bucks picks. They've got really good young players: Shaden Sharp, Scoot Henderson, Yang Hansen, Jeremy Grant. You even have Donovan Clingan, but I don't think they would trade Donovan Clingan for in this trade. But that's a team to monitor. I like Detroit. I like Detroit to monitor as well. Detroit, they're not heavy in rumors, but they've got Jalen Duren. They've got Jalen Duren as an all-star. They've got picks. They've got some other young players: Denice Jenkins, Marcus Sasser, Ron Holland. They have Sarge Thompson. I don't know if they would deal with Sarge Thompson in this case, but they have the Sarge Thompson. So that's a nice, interesting team to pair him with Giannis and Cade. But again, that probably seems unlikely. And then there's always this case, and nobody wants to see this. Well, I wouldn't say nobody. I think some fans would rather see this than him go to another spot. Staying in the Bucks. And other than that, I don't have any other options. I think that's the 6 options that can happen. If Giannis stays at the Bucks, we have wasted everyone's time again. And I think no one would ever care about another Giannis unhappy comment. No one would care about another Giannis trade rumor ever again. And you might already be at that point. And honestly, I wouldn't blame you. I wouldn't blame you. But anyway, yeah, those are my possibilities. And now it is time for my prediction of where I think Giannis Antetokounmpo is going to land. And I'm going to call it right here. And there is no switching up. I believe that Giannis Antetokounmpo, by July 10th, or by the draft, whatever you want to say, or by training camp, or the next time we see NBA opening day for this franchise, I believe that Giannis Antetokounmpo will be a member of the Miami Heat. It just makes the most sense to me. I think there's finally going to be a team that's going to be to take on Tyler Hero, and that could be the Pistons. I think that Giannis. I think they're going to get it done. Giannis is, expected. There's Miami his destination. He gets income tax. He gets a competitive team. I think Miami will be a competitive team next year. I think people will say that this team is going to be trash and this team won't do anything, and he won't win nothing down there. But I think people are gonna you got to at least watch to see what happens, because I think that's a lazy hatred take. I think it's a lazy hatred take, and you can always add more to that team. It's not like after you trade for Giannis, you can never, ever trade again. Obviously, the assets will be a lot worse, but you can still make trades. They'll play players for cheap. You have mid-levels. You have minimum contracts. You have players that would be okay to ring chase that are better than a minimum type of deal. So you can also, you'll have a destination. Miami will be a bigger destination than it already is now. And it is pretty big because players do want to come there with Giannis there. So, anyway, we'll have to see. They screwed up Damian Lillard. They screwed up stars in the past. I think they finally get it done. I think they finally get it done here, and they land Giannis Antetokounmpo very soon. My prediction was Friday. It could be Monday. I don't know. I'm between Friday and Monday. I wonder if I don't think they will, but I'm wondering if front offices are going to take the weekend off. I don't know. They may or may not. Actually, I don't think they will, because the draft is so soon. If the draft was Wednesday or Thursday, I think they might take the weekend off, but it's not. The draft is Tuesday. We'll talk more on the draft this week too. So, anyway, I think they get it done. Pat Riley finally gets his star. He does not make the mistake. He doesn't, lowball. He doesn't dare all this. He doesn't play this hardball stuff. I think he can get it done. I think this is finally this is the jackpot. Like the Miami Heat have been in a long pursuit of Giannis Antetokounmpo, and that's not a fake report. That's not a fake rumor. That is the facts. They have been on a long pursuit of Giannis Antetokounmpo. They wanted him in 2020. They wanted him every single year. They wanted him for like the last 7 or 8 years. We'll see if they get it done. We'll see if he stays a buck. We'll see if the Celtics swoop in, or we'll see if a dark horse team swoops in. But anyway, that is going to do it for the first ever episode of the ATB Sports Show. I had to remember. ATB Sports Show. I didn't want to say the wrong abbreviations. But that will do it for the first episode of ATB Sports Show. Leave likes, comments. Please. I did a good job. I think I did. And subscribe. Till then, in the next episode, I will see you guys. Peace and take care.